Hi YouTube. The reason for this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about sex really. A lot of women and a lot of men are like, I gotta have sex. I have to have sex. They don't even know why. It's like an addiction for them. It's something that they're going through as far as addiction. Trust me, it's okay. I'm gonna talk to you straight up. At one time I was like that too, like I have to have a companion every now and then. So I would call, what someone would call a bussy baby, or someone, you just deal with for sexual purposes. Y'all both go your own way and, do whatever you want to do. Waking up to what was really taking place with me was something totally different. Other people are not going to talk to you about this. It was dark. It was dark psychology. It was persuasion in multiple ways. So what was happening? I was pretty much being abused, and the psychology of the thing was to get you to want to be with somebody. You're beautiful, so um, you're not probably sexually active. You're probably not really in a relationship, but you have someone that you have as a companion for sexual purposes or whatever, but you're not married. All of these are dark psychology and persuasions. It's against God's word, but it's a persuasion thing to get you into a lifestyle that they want you to get into. It's a small decision making thing that just seems like the norm. Everybody else has a relationship, everybody else is doing it, everybody else is having sex. Why is it such a big deal? What's the issue? You know, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to constantly question yourself and say, well, if everybody else is doing it, why is it such a big deal? Why am not I not able to do what everybody else is doing? And it shouldn't really be a big issue on this topic about sex. It's normal. It's what everybody else is doing, and it's just normal. It's just a normal act. It's an everyday routine, and it's not. It's not. The first thing I want to talk to women and men about, because men are being treated somewhat similar to the same as women are being treated, but at the same time they're not able to really recognize the signs of the neglect and abuse that's happening from the partner because she's a woman. So a man can be abused and not even know that he's being abused by a woman, you know, and he's going through this for quite some time, and his anger's building up, and then now he having domestic violence issues, and he can't quite understand or grasp the concept why he's having domestic violence issues, or why he's constantly angry, like he hasn't gotten that anger out and stuff like that. And all of that stemming from the same direction, just people abusing you, taking advantage of you, and dark psychology. You have to bring these addictions to an end to, like, make your enemy know you don't have any control. And one of the addictions that they use through dark psychology is sex. You may be a successful person and you have a lot going for yourself, so they want you to envy relationships and try to enter into relationships. They want you to want sex all the time and stuff like that without any form of commitment. Or if you are the type that want commitment, the person that you're with is not going to offer that type of commitment to you. And even if they do offer it, they're not going to be faithful. And now you're going to deal with some other things that are going to take place. And even if they're faithful, they're still a trap or a trick for you. A lot of them are, not all, but a lot of them are. The only warning I can possibly give you is just cut everything off and focus on you. If you have children, focus on you and your children. These are the things you have to do to stop their game plan. They will use so many different weapons, and once you start focusing on you and your children, they're going to try to attack the children. They're going to try to attack you, and you're going to probably be able to see your enemy a little bit better because you and your children are more isolated. You're more aware, you're more focused, and everything. I can tell women and men this, that women, You might be wife material, truthfully enough. But guess what? Every man you date, they got this man in a status over you like as if he's your husband. And he's not. And you're losing your control and your mind, and now you're subservient to a man that is not your husband. But you're a wife material. But he's not your husband, and he's definitely not husband material. So now you're subservient to something that does not care about you, something that does not want you, something that's not willing to even take it to the next level. Now you have a second issue because you have men, right, that are really willing to commit, but every woman that they hook up with, these women are loose, these women are in the streets, these women are in a lifestyle. I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're Christian, or whatever the case may be. Good dudes, guard yourself. You're in a worse situation sometimes than women are, because you are attacked sometimes more than we are attacked, because you are the head and not the tail. And women, right now, we are in head positions, and we have to think like heads and leaders. When you're not in a relationship and you're not married, you are in a head position. So you have to think like a head. You have to think like a leader. You cannot continue to act like you are a follower and doing things that followers would do. You make money. I can honestly tell you, I have been in a relationship where I was making good money and everything, and hooked up with someone. And I watched as my whole life downward spiraled because I was with the wrong man. I was around people that didn't care about me. He didn't care for me and everything. And he's out there. He has this second life. He's doing everything that he's big and bad enough to do. And all I'm doing is downward spiraling. And oh yeah, you can get a substitute. Yeah, hey, I'm not that bad looking. Fix myself up, hair, makeup, and all that stuff like that. And yeah, you get the substitutes. You get the draft pick or whatever. You got your men on the benches. It shouldn't take all of that. All of that is destroying you, destroying your body, destroying what you stand for. You all are going to have to remember to break these addictions. And the way you break a sexual addiction is by not having sex. When you feel like you want to have sex, don't. Because I can assure you, behind that wanting to have sex, there's a form of abuse going on that you're not even aware of. There's a form of abuse that's taking place that you weren't even prepared for. So you have to really sit up there and say, no, I'm not having sex. I'm not married. I don't have a reason to have sex. I don't have a motive to have sex. I don't have a purpose to have sex. I can tell you, sometimes you make these decisions, and sometimes it seems like every day you're like as if someone's erasing your real feelings and emotions. Like as if they don't want you to really show your real feelings and emotions. Like if as if you don't hurt or as you don't have feelings. You do have feelings. You're not an android. You're not a robot. You have feelings. You have stuff going on with you, and these feelings need to get addressed. But people will disregard your feelings as though you were like a computer or a robot or animal. And even with them, you need to have respect for certain things, animals or whatever the case may be. You have to have respect for them as well, because these very things may be the very thing that protects you at some point. But like I was saying, people, wake up. You don't need to have sex. That is an addiction to enforce an abuse behind the scenes in which you can't see, to protect people that are hurting you. Stop having sex. Stop trying to date. It's not going to protect you. Right now, it's hurting you more than it's protecting you. And this is their game plan. And I'm pro multiplying the earth, pro procreation. I'm pro happiness and all this stuff, right? But at this time, you have to be careful, especially if you're a person that has stuff going for you. You are in a authority position, and you can't be acting like a pawn in a higher position. You have to outthink your enemies, your opponents, and everything else by doing the right thing and making sure you're guarding yourself, protecting what you believe in. Even if you don't even have an entity if you don't have anything going for yourself but just protecting yourself and your family, then that's a fine. Just do what you have to do, but do not fall victim to that. You shouldn't have to have sex in order to sleep at night. That's a dark psychology or programming that has taken place. You have to stop the programming by not doing things and suffering through like as if you're on crack or drugs or whatever. You got to detox. And part of the detox is by not giving in to the temptation.